Working with innovation, especially in a project portfolio management context, means also managing the idea funnel and the intake of new ideas from every employee. We can do that structured in Projectum xPM, which is what I will show you right now. So right now, we are logged into Projectum xPM. On the left-hand side, we can see that under collaboration, we have a space for My Ideas. So clicking here brings us to this view where you can see all the ideas that I'm allowed to see. In this case, only my own. We can also have views that shows you all ideas across the entire business, depending on your security setup. Now, with this view, we can also click on the visualization button, even before we open up any of them, and see the scoring of ideas. So we have quite a few that has 3 stars, some have 2 stars. So there's a variety of charts we can use to better find the ideas we're looking for. Maybe this one or that one. So when I click on an item here, it brings me immediately to the corresponding idea in the right-hand side. If we were to capture a new idea, I can click on New. And as we can see, we have an ideation stage gate or process at the very top. So first we want to capture the idea. We have to give it a name. Then we justify it. In this case, we have set up so that we need an ROI before we can go ahead to deciding on whether or not to execute the idea. So let's start by creating the idea description. So that could be my super idea. And I'm the owner or the author of the idea. We can also have a proposed start and end date. This is more to make sure that we can also share our perspective on how we would like to see the idea being picked up, but also executed. So maybe I would like this to start 1st of May. And an estimated duration could be something where we end up in end of July. We should build new parking lots. That could be the description. On the budget estimate, maybe we have a budget we can provide. So maybe we have understood or talked to some vendors and found a number. So let's say it's 500,000 to renovate or build new parking lots. We can see the ROI field here is locked because that will be calculated for us, but only once we have the benefits established. And then we have the type of idea. Again, this could be depending on your context or company, but in this case, it's run, grow, transform. So traditional Gartner categories for handling or categorizing ideas. Let's say it's in the bucket of transformation. So when we save this, the idea is immediately, again, added to the system. And because it has a name, then I can progress from capture to justify. And again, trying to then go beyond justify to decision is where you will see that I'm blocked. And this means that until I have filled in the ROI, which I cannot type in, then I can't progress. So let's go down to the lower right corner where we have the benefits estimate. So as you can see, we have a financial impact statement, we have strategic fit. And one way of doing financial impact assessment is simply to say, is it high or low? Most companies prefer that this is calculated. But let's set it to 8. And then we can also go in and say, maybe the benefits we expect to bring to the table is in the area of 2 million over the next 3 years. We can also add a comment. So expected to offer parking lot spaces with fees. So that could be one aspect. At the top here, we can also write strategic fit is very high. We can also write why we think it's high. We need more parking spaces to get happy customers. And we can also associate it with a business driver, which could be something of a categorization of any type. But let's say, again, this is just mandatory stuff. The scoring of the idea is something we can do as a person, but it can also be done by others. Often we see it's more like a crowd scoring assessment where multiple stakeholders will review the same ideas and maybe score it differently depending on what goals they want to achieve. I'm going to set it to quite high right now. And also now we can go to the justify stage at the top. And if we just quickly click save, we'll see that now we have a calculated ROI of 3 because it's 500,000 in budget and 2 million in 3-year benefits. So progressing from justify to decision is now possible. And this means that now someone has to take a decision and either pause this idea or promote it to becoming something we want to execute. And in this case, promoting it could be something like creating an initiative. So if I click on this small box here and hit the save button, automatically this idea is now created or converted into being a project. So if I click on my super idea, we are carried over to the project part, where it's now a project stage gate that needs to get done. And we can see that we have also carried over the idea link, the description of the idea, who authored it, the name of it, and we could essentially have carried over also the start dates, the budget, the benefits, whatever we want to do. So no one has to retype it one more time. Going back again to the idea, like this, it's also worth mentioning that at the very top of all ideas, we use AI to automatically create a SWOT analysis. So if I click the expand button up here, we'll see that the SWOT analysis for the super idea is here. So high benefits, relatively low budget, good ROI, critical need for parking spaces, so that's the strengths part. We have weaknesses as well, high operational cost to maintain and manage the parking facilities, limited experience. So again, this is not something we provided to the system, but this is where AI can go in and assist us in quickly creating something we all need to do, which is quite often to create a SWOT analysis for any idea or project we want to say yes to. So this is some of the ways we can manage ideas. A whole lot more can be done when it comes to how the portfolio managers can manage the intake of new ideas. You can see that in some of the other videos we have in our channel.